My name is Lionel. I'm a third Dan black belt in the Korean martial art of Taekwondo. I am registered with the Kukkiwon, which is the headquarters of World Taekwondo in Seoul, South Korea. Just recently, in April, my son and I, and others, we tested and earned our third Dan black belts. Earning a black belt, contrary to what a lot of people think that are not in a martial art, they think that once you got a black belt, that's all that there is. And it's just a beginning. It's like school, or like university. You can get your Bachelor of Science degree, but that's just the beginning, because there's so much more that can happen afterwards.
You know, there's 3 generations, my father, my 2 children, and myself. It's pretty honorable, and yeah, I take pride in it. As a father, it definitely comes, I have a sense of pride for sure. My 2 children, I want the best for them, and I just want to instill some self-confidence and courage to take on life, whether it be Taekwondo or schoolwork or just pursuing happy life and passion. This will hopefully give them the foundation to achieve and work for the things that they want. And as part of the class, we try to teach that you have to really work for what you want in life. It doesn't just come to you. So nothing's ever served to you on a plate. So this will hopefully establish a good foundation for them to move forward with.
Taekwondo, or a martial art, was something that I've always wanted to do, even when I was a kid growing up on the farm. But where I came from, in the middle of Manitoba, there was no opportunity. So when this one came along, I enrolled Aaron, my son, in Taekwondo, and that was in September of 1988. For about a year, I hem and hawed about entering Taekwondo, even though I was watching it, watching my son twice a week for the past year. And then finally, when I turned 40 years old, I decided to take the leap of faith, and I started Taekwondo at the end September of 1989.
I used to get picked on when I was a kid. I used to get bullied at school, and I think it came down to one single day. I came home with some bruises, and you know, this would happen on a frequent basis. And my dad just, you know, he would do his best to, you know, get in contact with the other parents and the principal and talk with the school system. But nothing would ever change, because you know, you have limited resources in teachers, and they can't have eyes on everyone. So he said, you'll have to learn to, you know, fight your battles for yourself. So he got in touch with a master that used to teach out here, Master Black. And then I was with Master Black for, I believe it was a year and a half, and then my dad started to join in. So we started to do Taekwondo together, and it was something that we both really, really enjoyed. And that subsequently helped out with my situation at the school. Those bullies never picked on me ever again, because I had words with them, but then I had other things to say with my feet. It was on the playground. It was, you know, kind of pack mentality, where you have a group of kids kind of picking on one person. I was a bit of a nerd, and you know, that's just, yeah, I was a bit of a nerd. And but the thing is, once they caught wind that I was doing Taekwondo, you know, like, oh, Mr. Karate Kid, you know, like, show me what you got. So it was a lot of pushing, a lot of punching and all that. And I just got fed up. I'm more of a pacifist by nature. I don't like to fight, but if it provoked, I mean, I can handle myself. So I gave one swift kick, roundhouse kick to the face, and that was it. So that person never bugged me again, and it taught the other kids to kind of back off. So from that point on, my dad joined, and we kind of did that for years together.
Okay, what it means to be a black belt. In 1992, when I earned my first Dan black belt, to me that was one big accomplishment, because I was 43 years old, and I didn't know of anybody else who is of my peers who were at that age that could do that.
One year my dad got really, really sick with pneumonia, and I was becoming a rebellious teenager. I kind of won a competition, and the great grandmaster wanted me to participate in special training and kind of go on the national team and kind of hopefully have a future with Olympics. But my parents were overstretched and, with their jobs and what's going on in their lives, so they said, stick with your schooling because that's most important. And I quit out of spite, always kicked myself for it.
I stepped away from Taekwondo for a time. And I never knew that the time would be for 21 years. And I found out that there is a saying in Taekwondo that a person never quits Taekwondo. If you do step back, you're just taking a break. And the break could be for, like in my case, 21 years.
I was away on a trip, and then my children's mother put them in an introductory class here at Spirit One. And I came here on the first class, and I saw my Master Tam essentially babysitting 12 kids. And I just felt completely horrible for him because parents would drop their kids off and leave. And I said, well, I need to get involved in this. So I quickly joined, and my dad followed suit. And that kind of formed our Bernier team in Spirit One Taekwondo. And here we are 4 years later, and we're still going.
Then it was 25 years later that I got second Dan. That was in 2017. And I really strived for that one. I worked hard at that because I wanted to do the very best. I could show you, I have a certificate here that in 1992, the Grand Master at that time, Grandmaster Kang, awarded me the most improved certificate of that promotion test. And I went, wow, I never thought that would ever happen in my life.
Tell me about getting your black belt. What was that like?
Well, surprised. I almost fainted during my black belt test. Pretty surprised because, well, black belt. I mean, not exactly the highest level, but like the beginning. Like as if the Stone Age, and then all of a sudden, you reach the Golden Age, like that. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like a jump.
I start teaching about 12, 13 years ago, okay? And I never do have like 3 generation participating or training all at once. Could be father and son, mother and son, mother and daughter. It's very popular. But if you're talking about 3 generation, pretty rare, So, and they do have to have the time and dedication to train.
We live in a society where everyone's given out ribbons for participation, but here we really try to instill, like, you have to work for what you want. And
like Taekwondo or any martial art requires effort, okay? You don't just sit there and you earn a belt or a black belt by not doing anything. You have to earn it. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of, as they say, blood, sweat, and tears, okay? It takes a lot of exercise. So for a lot of kids, it's just too much and they tend to drop out. Typically, like in our academy, it would take approximately 2 years from the time that you're a white belt to reach the black belt stage. Once if you want to train to become a second Dan, you have to wait a whole year and train a whole year. In our case, to become third Dan, then I had to wait another 2 years to reach third Dan. So you add up the years, that's 5 years from the time you start, if you stay with it, to earn your third Dan black belt. Earning a black belt is nice, but it's not the nicest part is being able, with that belt, being able to help all the younger generations and the younger kids come up.
I'm ready Hi, Brittany, and I'm second room, and I'm with Spirit One Taekwondo. Well, I really like how the kicks are like mostly placed, and I like kind of teaching the class. I want to help the younger kids get to higher levels like me, and so I can go to the Olympics. These two medals was from the tournament I just went to. Yeah, so they're both silvers. I got this one for patterns and this one for board breaking because I did not do sparring. Well, I broke all 3 boards, so for board breaking I did a back kick and then a side kick and then another back kick. I was in the lead, but then my friend beat me. Well, I was happy for her and I was still happy for myself.
For my second medal, smudged. Well, a gold. This one because it's gold medal, my first gold medal ever. I got it in board breaking. It's a bit smudged here, but you can see. It was the last weekend tournament that I went to actually.
Totally enjoyed it. A bit apprehensive at first, but when I was called up by our student who was the referee in that. Then I went, competed the best I could at that time with my third dan pattern, which is tie back. And I didn't even focus. I knew I was competing against somebody, but I didn't even look at them or pay attention to them. I felt good about what I'd done. And obviously, I guess it showed because the 3 masters that were grading me or judging me, they both gave me the sign that I won each match. Right? So that was great. I like doing all the various kicks and that, and I'm fortunate at my age that I can still do those types of things. My hip joints are like ball and socket. I can still move them without creaking. I can go fairly high in the air with, let's say, a roundhouse kick or whatever to a person's head. That's no problem for me. And I consider myself fortunate because I can do those movements. As a person in Taekwondo, I totally enjoy it because I've been retired for 10 years. Taekwondo gets me interacting with the community, with others, not necessarily my age, but younger than me. It gets me involved with my grandchildren. It gets me involved with my son. I am exercising, and you wouldn't believe how enjoyable that is for my family doctor. That I'm in Taekwondo, and that my test results of everything has gone down, like cholesterol, blood sugar, you name it. Everything is, I'm going down to like a younger person. To me, it's not work. To me, this is just a pleasure. I was a senior environment officer with the federal government, and what I did not consider it work because I enjoyed it. Back then,
I personally love the mentorship aspect, I guess instructing as part of my job. I've always taken pride in mentoring, younger employees, and that, they're coming up through the career. So here I can help coach these kids and kind of encourage them and give them tidbits to sink their teeth into, so that I can see them grow up and succeed. That's probably the biggest thing that I take away from Taekwondo. I love it. I really enjoy that.
I would say the philosophy is being a good person. And that's like in anything else in life. The philosophy is more of being respectful to your peers, to, in our case, in Taekwondo, to the black belts and to the master and grandmaster that are there, because they've earned their place in the hierarchy of, let's say, of Taekwondo. So the philosophy is, it's a little bit at a time that we add where, when you're dealing with teaching a kid respect for others, respect for the place that you're working, it all adds up. And I've noticed when a child starts, and when it's a year later, that they may have started with attitudes and everything else, and a year later they're totally different. And it's because it's slowly they get to learn that Taekwondo is not we're not a team sport, but what you put into it, you reap the benefits of it. So my goal is to just continue. Right now, my short-term goal now is going to happen in 3 years' time. I'm looking at 73 years old. I want to earn that 4th Dan black belt. And I think in our academy, as well as many others, 4th Dan comes with the title of master, and that title comes only if you are have been teaching for quite some time, okay, and which is what I've been doing. So I should be able to be granted that. So that's my short-term goal. Long-term goal is just to keep on going for as long as I can. But for the next year, we've got, let's say, Gaiden can test for another in a year's time, or second poom, but that will be up to him. I'm not going to push him. It's a choice that he has to make. Okay, it's like anything else. Raya just earned her second poom, so she's got to wait 2 years before she can test for her third poom, and that's the highest she can go as a child. We don't allow them any further. So if she wanted to go for a 4th Dan, then she has to be 15 years of age. But that will not necessarily make her a master, because there's an age restriction. You have to be at least 20 years and over to be a master, and you have to have taught for quite a few years.
Well, it's definitely brought us closer together. Families get really, really busy. Myself, I'm a business owner. I teach Taekwondo on the side, so I get pulled in various directions, as well as my children's mother. She's a very busy woman.
They usually cheer for me when I'm doing like sparring and stuff, but usually you have to be silent when they're doing patterns of board breaking. But I still think they're like cheering for me in their heads and stuff like that, and videotaping me sometimes.
The Korean flag, just like yin yang, the flag term is it's the cookie, so it's the negative and positive balance. So everything comes down to balance and moderation, just like anything else in life. In our art pattern, like in our art forms, everything is a push and pull to get strength from that.
Well, there's more than just the next year. I'll give you an example of what Master Tam once told me when I joined him at the end of 2015, and then he saw the dedication that I had for the sport and for him, and then us becoming Spirit One Taekwondo. It wasn't long after I started, he made the comment. He said, "Well, Mr. Bernier, He says, now you're going to be with me now for the next 30 years. And I went, oh my, I'll be 100 years old. There is still so much I have to learn yet that my cup is not even half full yet. There's tons. But the nice thing is that what I learned and what I've known is that I can pass down to the younger generations and I can help them achieve their goals, because at my age and at my level, what's most important to me is the young kids, that they achieve what it is that they want to achieve, because the door is wide open for them.